10 characteristics of the traditional, communal, or the extended family. So let's now look at these two polar types of families in more detail. We will show 10 characteristics of the traditional or the extended family, and then we'll look at the modern or the nuclear family. An economic contract. In traditional societies, marriage was considered necessary for economical and tribal ties. Families worked together as production units, and marriage into another family could help production. Or marriage ties across tribes would ensure peace between the tribes. Now, this is still the case in some societies, even today.
In some societies, they use sister exchange marriages to ensure perfect peace between clans. For example, when two men from different clans exchange sisters in marriage. With such a marriage tie, the clans agree to live in peace with each other. Sister exchange marriage also means stability and peace in the two marriages.
Yeah, we visited such a family recently, didn't we?
That's right. If there is trouble between one couple, it affects the other couple.
Yeah.
So each couple keeps the other couple in check.
Belonging and identity. Here in the larger extended family of relatives with uncles, aunts, and cousins, a person finds belonging and identity. Everyone in this extended body is faithful and loyal to the family. And so ideally, the family is faithful and loyal to the individual. Now, this brings meaning and intimacy and hopefully real joy in life to be accepted and respected by everyone.
Although this is often not the case for a woman who comes into the family through marriage. Her place is somewhat as an outsider. For example, if her family has not paid the entire dowry because they lack the financial resources, this is held over her head. She may even be sent back to her own home without notice. She lacks security here.
Yet in general, even though families have quarrels and fights, they are committed to each other. They don't give up on each other very easily. Everyone is connected to something bigger and more meaningful than just themselves.
And so genealogies are important because they show where a person fits in, how each one is connected to another, actually, whom you can marry, who has inheritance rights, and so on. In English or German, relational terms like uncle or aunt are general, but in communal cultures, these are very specific terms for your father's brothers, your father's sisters, your mother's brothers, your mother's sister, and so on. They have very specific terms, even for the children. So, someone like me who goes into a communal culture, I have a long list of names I have to learn. But someone who comes from communal to my culture wonders, who are they talking about?
He's just an uncle or he's just a
Just
cousin. What does that mean? Yeah. Now, security and support. In traditional cultures, even if the government today provides some pensions, parents are assured of financial and moral support from their children. As parents provide for their children, adult children know that they must now care for their parents. Hence, families experience well rounded security.
And when a person faces troubles or needs money or is sick, they turn to the family. Here they will not
Yeah.
be turned down. They don't need to fight government or insurance policies or wait their turn. Here they will never hear the words, sorry, no room, no time.
However, many societies today are impacted by war, the loss of family structures through untimely deaths or displacement, and all kinds of social change. And here we see the secure family setup is falling apart.
And then a family member migrates to the West and is suddenly burdened with
Mhm.
high expectations to send funds to their families in Africa or wherever.
Now, the technical term for that is remittance. Newcomers in the West send part of their income to the family back in their home country. And annually, billions of dollars flow from immigrants to developing countries. I guess we could say it's another way of international aid, and it goes far beyond what development agencies actually do. Remittances can cause huge financial challenges for those now living in a Western setting, struggling to find support for themselves. This pressure gets so high that some couples actually cut themselves off from their extended relations back home. Many such newcomers may work for years before they can finally afford the airfare and all the expected gifts that they're supposed to buy and bring back with them. Yet for many, family security and support are more important than financial security. Now, I haven't even mentioned the further challenges of this newcomer family within their own setting in the West. So they're struggling to send support back to their larger family back home, but here within their own family, they're experiencing what this entire course is all about, appreciating, and I would now add, struggling with one another's cultures. So the parents, they sort of freeze their culture from back home. They hold on to it, while the children, they integrate so fast into their new environment, language and clothes, food, and all kinds of freedoms, so that at times they may even reject or feel ashamed of and look down or disdain their own traditions. And this often brings clash into that small family itself. Now, I would say it'd be great if you as a family can go through this module together and discuss these issues together as a family. The patriarch or the father is responsible. In ancient Roman and Chinese times, the father was seen as a king and he ruled the family. Now, much of this domineering authority has continued in traditional societies to this day. The father, as the provider and protector, feels that he must control the household. Patriarchy also assumes patrilineal family, where children will take their father's name. Now, families of this nature are usually patrilocal as well, where the son takes his bride to his father's home. Now, traditionally, they're also patrivocational, as the sons continue their father's trade. We know that much of this is changing as globalization impacts even the most remote and traditional community. And yet, to this day, I would say, many a father will want his son to be a doctor or an engineer in order to bring honor and income to the family.
And in a communal society, the mother is responsible to raise the young children. While the father rules the family, he directs his children and disciplines by verbal threat or punishment. Now, this could mean that the children will respect their father out of fear, but they do obey. And in some cultures, if a child disobeys, it's the mother who is punished. In some African societies, instead of the father, a paternal uncle disciplines the children.
Some years ago, I was a guest on TV in Afghanistan where we discussed cultural matters and cultural influences. The host suddenly turned to me and said, "Your children in the West, they don't obey their parents after they're 13." Now, what was I going to say? How would you respond? Is it true? What would you say? Now, the camera's rolling. You have no time to kind of think out a response. So I kind of objected and I said, no, they don't all disobey. And then I used my daughters as an example that they are obedient and so on. But that's something to think about. And let's now go to our activity. What do you think?